Hello everybody, welcome back. Today is May 17th, and we're here with robot and nonsense stories to end the week on Level 1 Text with Friends.
Our first story is, we're not alone.
Links. I can't see it because it's like in the way. Humans now share the web equally with bots, report warns amid fears of the dead internet. If you haven't read about the dead internet theory, I highly recommend it. There are a lot of articles about it online.
Basically, everybody posting online is not real, is the dead internet theory.
There are no girls on the internet. Soon it will be there are no boys on the internet. There are no people at all on the internet.
So this is saying, hey, we analyzed a bunch of web traffic, and now human-related traffic is the same as bot-related traffic. So there's all these crawlers just crawling everything. Everybody's got their own AI bot that's trying to just consume the internet to understand, literally everything.
Or it's just, bot content. Bots talking to bots trying to sell you stuff.
Certainly the Google search results are all bots. It's disappointing, to say the least.
Oh, this story was disappointing to me.
It's just...
I don't know if I totally buy this, but...
Yeah, well,
Fake Monet and Renoir on eBay among 40 counterfeits identified using AI. My question about this, and maybe there was an answer and I didn't read it correctly, but are they just using images on the internet for this? Because that is not a good indication of what the actual image is.
Yeah, it's like we're going to feed it this. Like, what if somebody's technique changed? What if somebody was going to try something different?
There's that, but there's also do an experiment right now and go into Google Images and put in Chardin the laundress and then look at all the variations in terms of color and lighting of all those images. It's all the same painting, but depending on how you took the picture or how you might have exposed it or anything like that, it's going to look different. Can AI account for that? Usually if you're doing actual art history work, you need a physical copy of it there so you can actually test the paints, make sure that they had pigments that are correct for that time period. You do an X-ray to see what the painting looked like.
AI is also not very good at telling us how many fingers we should have and what the angles of those fingers should be.
It could get better at that, but you're never going to replace an actual physical evaluation, especially for something as expensive. You're spending millions of dollars on a painting. I want an actual art historian to be doing tests on it.
It might not be good with fingers, but you know what it is good with? Katy Perry.
It is. Katy Perry's own mom fell for her Met Gala AI photo. Do you know what to look for?
NPR has the picture, and it's just
It's actually fairly convincing. I watch the Met Gala every year. That's the AI, or not the AI, but the fashion Super Bowl for me. And there were several images that popped up on Twitter that looked very realistic, but they were not. So Rihanna didn't even go this year. Neither did Katy Perry, but multiple photos showed up of them wearing dresses, and it was who's the designer for that? And you'd look it up, and it's oh, there is no designer. This is just an AI photo.
People expected to see this. They searched for the thing, and they found this. That's kind of a parable for when you search. It's I don't know if I should believe this. I'm going to search for things, and then it's oh, I've gone down a rabbit hole. It's no, you've just been brainwashed.
Yeah, you gotta do a little extra research. So if you could find multiple angles of certain dresses, Zendaya wore 2 dresses, kind of a big deal. At first I was that's an AI one, but no, she actually came back a second time and served a second look. And you had multiple angles of it, so you could tell it was real.
Our next story, I'm sort of thinking back to the first day of the week, and when we're talking about, it's maybe we should just outlaw children on the internet. Maybe that would be better.
The teens making friends with AI chatbots.
This is not good for psychological development.
It is not.
For a lot of reasons.
This is actually kind of sad. So my neighbor had talked to me about this last summer, actually, about how, I think it was the Snapchat AI, their granddaughter was talking to it a lot because she couldn't drive and they live in the middle of nowhere. So she was well, I'll just talk to this. And it's oh, that's kind of sad, isn't it?
It's not. Well, it's not. I mean, it's you're hardwired to look for something like that, but that's not great to do that.
Yeah. At least join a Discord server.
Before too long, the AI is going to be suggesting that you drink your verification cans.
Yeah, how long till it's co-opted by marketers, and it's
I also liked Steven Spielberg's AI, the AI teddy bear, and that it's just it had seen some stuff, and it was just I don't know, whatever, it's fine. This was not fine.
Motional delays commercial robotaxi plans amid restructuring. That was word soup in my head as I was saying it, but...
Yeah, I can't... It's hard to unpack what exactly is going on here. This is supposed to be a company that would provide a platform for robotaxis, but they may be looking at the challenges that Waymo and other taxi companies have faced and they're saying, we're not really set up to be able to deal with this. They'd wanted to, I guess, operate in Boston, Pittsburgh, and Las Vegas, and they're looking at where they are now and saying, I don't think we're ready to do this, which is probably good.
Is it Waymo that I feel like we have a bad headline about them every week? I think it's Waymo.
Yeah, but they are driverless, and they just in San Francisco, people were. I think it was Waymo cars that were getting the traffic cone treatment, where if you just put a traffic cone on the hood, it doesn't know what to do.
This could be a person. I can't move.
Yeah, it's like I'm done. I'm gonna not worry about that. And this is a first step of this might not be a thing.
The AI controlled fighter jet took the Air Force leader for a historic ride. What that means for war.
Basically, you just let the AI drive the jet, and it doesn't care about G-forces, which is neat. You know what else doesn't care about pesky biological limitations?
Robot dogs armed with AI-aimed rifles undergo U.S. Marines Special Ops evaluation. Remember when they were like, we'll never do that?
Yeah, there's so much that we don't know. I saw I think it was the Army had developed an ATV with a shape-charged copper ball on top of it, and that looked like the most amazing, fun toy ever. There's all kinds of stuff that we will never be able to see, and there's probably so much stuff so far beyond this, but looks neat. Basically just a quadruped with a rifle. You just, send it in. Don't worry about it. It'll take care of it.
Like in War of the Worlds, they have like the big things or whatever. It's like that. You're going to see that, but like in an actual war zone.
Was it Gort? No, that's not. That wasn't War of the Worlds, was it?
I don't remember.
No, that was the robot. And then it was like, no, you have to show the robot that you're not hostile. And then it was fine. But Gort could otherwise defend itself. It's really interesting. This was also kind of interesting.
Drone company Zipline dictates mayor's quote on how normal Zipline is. Zipline is food delivery, but it goes by drone.
And people are looking around saying, this is kind of weird, isn't it? The mayor says, no!
It's great!
It's great! Don't worry about it. Hey, if it's cheaper than DoorDash.
Nowhere delivers to where I live, so like all that kind of stuff has passed me by. But when people tell me how much they spend on DoorDash, I'm like, that's insane.
This is also kind of fun, but also sort of like, wait a minute, why are you doing this in Arizona?
Well, Amazon's delivery drones won't fly in Arizona's summer heat. They shut down after 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 104, they can't fly. So, and it said 17% of the days are above that. But they're not allowed
for
to.
now.
The obvious thing is like
climate change.
Have them operate in the morning, the early morning and the evening. They will not operate before sunup or after sundown.
I guess are they worried that people won't see them or something? I guess
just by matter of policy, I guess.
Yeah.
So interesting. This is also a fun Level 1 predicts because I saw this little guy in person in GTCs from Mercedes. At least I think this is the Mercedes robot.
As Amazon's robot ranks swell, workers worry about their future.
Amazon's one of the weird ones, though, because Amazon has such high requirements for their warehouse workers that there's not physically enough people in America to work at that level of strain. Like they've hired and fired a huge number of people that they were not satisfied with the work output. And so, that's maybe some commentary on Amazon themselves, but maybe that's also a commentary on robots would be better served doing this kind of work. Maybe. Amazon added 400,000 robots to its facilities in just 2 years. And that is going to seem like a slow adoption with what's coming, I think.
Ugh. It's one of the only like well-paying jobs left. I feel like that doesn't require a ton of extra training, but
it it pays well, but it's very strenuous.
Yeah.
I mean, we know people
and long hours too.
We know people that used to work there, and it's strenuous and long hours, and it pays well, but it pays well because it's strenuous and long hours. Like, there's no option where it's like, is there like don't get paid as well, but I can take it easy and still do the warehouse work? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, hey, I would like to do this. Is there a version of this that I can do? And the answer is no.
Tempe
Tempe
company uses robots to write handwritten cards.
I think it's Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah, I've never said it out loud. I've only read it in headlines.
So this isn't anything new. This has been happening since The 80s, as also seen in the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer, which I'm sure Krista hasn't seen.
No, I haven't. I'm laughing because my husband would love this. Every time like we have to write a check or like just sign anything, he's like, you should do that because he can't write. I mean, he can, but like can't write well.
They might be having trouble with their airplanes, but oh wait.
Boeing Starliner launch delayed until May 17th, which is today.
They're also having trouble with their launches. So engagement challenge, did they actually launch today or no?
We'll know by then, but
Will we? Will we know?
we may be dead by then. Oh, that would be great.
This is the most nothing burger of a story ever. But we've actually had some people tweet us this, and so it's like, okay, whatever.
Theranos fraudster Elizabeth Holmes has prison sentence reduced again. I assume for good behavior.
Yeah, it's good behavior. She's still within the federal sentencing guidelines. There's nothing unusual happening here. Her sentence was reduced by like 3 months. Big deal. And she's still in for like 10 years. Although it is kind of wild that she's got almost as much time as the FTX guy. Or no, the FTX guy has more,
He's got
I guess.
more, yeah.
So it's interesting. Fun times.
SWAT team sold fake body armor as Homeland Security launches major investigation.
Ohio Police Department mistakenly bought counterfeit body armor from China.
In what world?
That sounds like, pretty typical. It's like, I would like to LARP and China has all your LARPing needs. It's like, oh, no, it's supposed to be real.
We want katanas, too.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
And I had no idea that strip clubs had this kind of cash on hand.
Really? Brazen burglars steal $250K in cash by cutting hole into the roof of Onyx strip club.
Isn't it mostly like dollar bills and $5 bills? Like physically that...
I guess that makes sense. I'm just thinking, like, if you're talking about, like, if I had to steal from any business and I just wanted cash, I would probably hit the strip club first. I wouldn't expect to get that much, I guess, but...
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a lot.
Maybe that's a big one in that area.
By, somebody do the volume calculation. Like, how many cubic meters of cash is that in $1 bills?
Pro criminal tip, if you're looking to just steal cash, go to the strip club.
This is fun. And also, this happened this week.
DEA tells Congress that getting illegal drugs in U.S. is as easy as calling Uber Eats.
I don't think that's true at all, but okay.
I've never tried to acquire drugs, so I'm not actually sure, but I do feel like it's not quite that simple.
Yeah, there's probably a couple more steps there, but
because I called Uber Eats and they were like, "Ma'am, you can't just order marijuana through this app."
They were asking Congress for more money, and so we need to stop this. Okay. Speaking of things we need to stop.
Marvel released no more than 3 movies and 2 shows per year, Bob Iger says. Still too much. Too much.
Yeah, people are going to get real tired of that.
I think people already are.
I don't know.
Most people I know are.
I don't know what... They might be able to have some more fun with Robert Downey Jr. because he really could lean into the Iron Man role. But I don't know what else from the Marvel universe would be interesting.
Didn't his character die?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Marvel death. It's death in that universe.
I don't know. Speaking of things that don't really matter.
Fans following Taylor Swift to Europe after finding Eras Tour tickets less costly there.
Well, turns out Europeans have apparently less disposable income, and that is not lost on...
I'm sure there was a lot of accounting work done to make sure that they priced those tickets just right for the European market.
It's like somebody is living the story. Somebody in our community is living I could just go to Spain and have my hip replaced for less than it's going to.
I could just go to Spain and see Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So fun times.
When is her Eras Tour? I feel like she's been touring for months. I see stories about her all the time.
Maybe over a year, but it's also world
tour, yeah.
World record breaking. So
maybe she added more dates on. That would make sense.
I don't know. This I didn't understand. It looks kind of fun though.
They do this here too. Women are paying big money to scream and smash sticks in the woods. It's called a rage ritual.
There's probably some catharsis in that.
I'm assuming Ryan put this in here for me. This is bait for me. I don't know. There's a thing here, like at some of the local, like, I guess they're like game rooms and stuff. It's like a rage room, and you throw bottles and hit stuff with baseball bats. I can just do that at home. Why would I pay to have that experience? But
not everybody has a forest that they can go walk in behind their house.
That's true. And well, I used to just take walks even when I lived in an apartment and then like rant to myself, which probably was off-putting for my neighbors, but that's fine.
I would just replace a little bit more of the cast iron with PVC somewhere.
Yeah, just channel it into that project instead.
Fun time. Well, we can't always channel the aggression in places where it needs to go.
Kyoto government worker assaults coworker for spoiling popular manga series at the office.
This could only happen in Kyoto.
It's like I said, I don't really get the spoiler culture. Some people really dislike spoilers. I don't necessarily mind them. For me, it's about the journey.
That person did not like spoilers.
Yeah.
To the extent that it's like, oh, we're going to have to take this to legal affairs.
The story, a good story for me is not ruined by knowing the ending, but for some people, I guess.
This sounds like we're entering nonsense, and we may very well be, but this was a thing that really happened, and it was just sad and disappointing.
New York governor regrets saying black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is.
She was trying to convey that it is economically distressed, and boy, that's just ouch. And that's the AP headline. Like the AP is putting it in the nicest possible way. Might have been one of the dumbest things. No, this was probably one of the dumbest things from this week, actually. I take it back.
George Santos reviving drag persona Kitara Ravache to hawk videos for $350 a pop of him dressed as a woman.
Somebody should tell him that Twitch streaming is a little easier.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Just get a Twitch channel.
This also is not a good look.
California superintendent fired for allegedly threatening students who didn't clap for her daughter. Everybody cheer!
I feel like Ryan would be pointing something out about school's purposes to get you used to authoritarianism and blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
well, maybe in this case, a little bit.
This is also an amazing Business Insider headline, which I'm not... maybe we should censor that? I don't know.
Donald von ShitzInPantz has now formally been entered into the public record at Trump's hush money trial.
I like to read that as Baron von Munchausen, but I feel like that's doing a dishonor to the memory of Robin Williams. So
that name's pretty funny. Is it childish? Yeah, but it still made me giggle.
It's part of the public record because if you're not following that, you should.
I try to avoid as much of this kind of crap as possible, but that is funny.
There's a lot more important things happening in the world than this, and again, just the nonsense of the simulation just keeps leaking out from that. And it's just like,
I'm trying so hard to avoid it. It's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it is, for some people, it's not great economically.
Woman found living inside family fair sign in Midland.
She was actually living pretty well.
In the sign. That's the key. Not the family fair, but the sign.
Yeah.
Above the store. There's this article's 2 lines. Oh no, there we go. There's picture didn't show up.
So just okay. Yeah. She's 34.
Hey.
I was having trouble making ends meet, so decided to live in the sign.
There was a movie about a woman who she was pregnant and she ended up living in a Walmart for a while. I always thought that was kind of as a kid, I was really intrigued by that idea.
She lived in there for about a year.
Yeah, living in a store. It'd be really interesting to me.
That's not even post-apocalyptic yet. This has also got to be disappointing for some of you, because the last time we mentioned this, a lot of you said that you were super into this drink.
Yeah, Panera to stop selling charged sips, caffeinated drinks allegedly linked to 2 deaths. There's a big sign at our Panera that's only drink one, only drink the smallest cup size. It's at your risk.
Yeah, and that had been there for at least 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
just
and they're still being no, we're just gonna pull it.
Yeah, that's got to be a disappointment for those of you that were, very, very pro charged sip last time. Just like this was a disappointment.
Zoo in China stages phony panda exhibit in which 2 dogs with dyed fur were the main attraction. Those are obviously dogs.
I might be wrong, but it's China. There's pandas in China.
I'm pretty sure that's their native range. In fact, this is China.
Just okay.
Do you like go to hand it some bamboo and the dog just like chews on it? It's like, wait a minute.
That's not a panda at all.
He's not eating that at all.
I don't know why Ryan included this one, but it's dark.
Yeah, man's body dragged into woods by bear after deadly crash on Massachusetts highway, state police say.
Now, the story says mostly that he died on impact and the bear drug him into a cave. But there's really not enough details there that we can be sure that that was actually the sequence of events.
I would hope that's the case. Also, I mean, at least I guess the black bear didn't kill him. Hopefully. But I mean, they are scavengers. They'll eat whatever.
Yeah, just like the scavengers in our next story.
Vultures deemed too drunk to fly after dumpster diving taken to rehab center. Oh.
They got into something. They made it to a rehab center. They're still really dangerous. The article points out is like, even though the animal might be in distress, they still have razor sharp talons.
Also bird flu.
Yeah.
So possibly. So that's something else to be concerned about when you're interacting with a wild bird.
Yeah, we left a lot of stories out about this week about the cullings. There've been a lot of cullings.
It's been a little bit like the fear mongering on bird flu's gone up a little bit this week.
There's also been some animals turning up in strange places that they don't belong.
Bag of snakes found in passenger's pants at Miami International Airport. Probably not the weirdest thing to find in someone's pants in Florida.
Thank goodness it didn't turn into snakes on a plane.
He's just really committed to the bit.
I also really like the Guardian headline on this one. Props to whoever came up with it.
Peer pressure, but spelled a different way. More than 1,000 sea lions assemble at San Francisco dockside.
And they got the amazing picture there. So it turns out there were anchovies. A lot of anchovies.
Oh.
The sea lions were following the anchovies and eating the crap out of the anchovies. So that's what precipitated this situation.
Probably less cool if you live near that area and you're just hearing them like scream and honk all night. But
yeah. Elsewhere in California, this was happening.
Family of bears cools off in California pool. They can take a dip whenever. Those are little brown bears. Look how cute.
Yeah, a family of bears was passing through, and so this homeowner got a bunch of pictures of the bears playing in their pool and playing with their pool toys.
There was a bear sighting not far from us last week.
Yeah, it's going to be...
This is the kind of time of year they wander around.
Yeah.
So...
OpenAI was not in the headlines enough. They decided to turn it up to 11 for the headlines.
OpenAI considers allowing users to create AI-generated... I don't think I can say that without us getting demonetized, but Matt, you know what it is.
Adult entertainment.
Yeah. Oh.
Which is perhaps, it
seems like that's backing off. Or haven't they said previously they don't want people to do that?
They don't want people to do that, but if people are willing to pay extra for that.
Money goes up. I think we put some AI stories at the very end here by mistake. I thought I caught them, but I did not.
Oh, we might have.
Yeah,
well.
Oops, sorry. Researchers warned against using AI to peer review academic papers.
No, I think that qualifies as nonsense.
Yeah, that is nonsense. You would think that it would be reviewed by a human being, and yet.
This is a headline like, researchers warned against using a hammer to dislodge a clog in their toilet.
Yeah, it's like, that's not the right tool. It's just like with the art history thing. It's like, sure, if you want to just use that generally, but you still need an actual art historian to do additional tests on the physical painting if you want to verify that it's a real painting.
I would have thought that's obvious. But, technically you could dislodge a clog in your toilet with a hammer. You just wouldn't have a toilet when you were done. Maybe. Maybe it makes sense. I don't know. The Guardian also had this headline.
Google DeepMind's leap forward in AI could unlock secrets of biology.
Okay, so this is a little less on the nonsense spectrum, but some people that I know that are doing like the computational biology thing were really actually genuinely very excited for this. They were like, oh, we're going to set up a test in the lab next week. We're going to test a small part of this to make sure that it works. But they saw some earlier preliminary stuff on this, and they were really excited by the early or preliminary stuff for part of this because a tiny, tiny part of this was actually something that they could replicate in their lab. And so they thought this was, if true, huge if true sort of a thing. Because you're able to use, like, the AI correctly predicted how the molecule would respond and like how they needed to set up the stuff so that they could, it's like CRISPR, but more laser focused with CRISPR for like how they set it up. And so the AI was basically just saying, oh, you should do this, and this will probably give you the result that you want. And it totally did, according to these researchers. And if that's true, then maybe we're going to be able to have more fine control over the biological machinery in our cells.
So you're saying Jurassic Park is a real possibility now?
For antibiotics and cancer, certainly.
Wow.
the anti-raptor of cancer, if you will.
I don't have nightmares about not having cancer, so...
Yeah. And it seems like every week we've got a story about some throwaway line that Sam Altman said, because everybody's following everything that Sam Altman does, because OpenAI is really exciting. And today's headline with the throwaway line was...
oh no. It keeps getting worse. OpenAI exec, a year from now, today's ChatGPT will look laughably bad.
Yeah, think about the large language models a year ago. They really were laughably bad compared to what we have today. And today is still not great. They still don't play a game of rock, paper, scissors well. But GPT-5, maybe? Or maybe those are fundamental problems. So we have OpenAI doing their large language models, but we also have a lot of other large language models doing things. And it seems like there are universal problems like hallucination. And so we don't yet have the software modeling in place, the mechanism that would prevent these models from hallucinating in the first place. We apparently don't have that, because if we have total clean room approaches at statistical large language model implementations, they certainly have some common features that have come about even from completely independent implementations, which suggests that we don't fully understand. It's like, Newton in Newton's equations, and then Einstein came along and said, oh, there's some more terms there that they go to zero sometimes, and so it falls out when we're talking about Newtonian speeds. But when we're talking about relativity, things get a little more complicated. We haven't discovered the relativistic components of that equation yet. We're just in Newtonian physics with AI at this point. This is also a predictable result. I think Level 1 predicts got another point here.
40,000 AI-narrated audiobooks flood Audible, dividing authors and listeners.
This is one of those things where we really need, as individuals, the ability to rate content, because if in a Google search result I get an AI result that is so bad, I totally would engage with Google to be like, this result is terrible. Click.
We need a downvote button. We need a dislike button.
Yeah.
They'll never give us the dislike button back.
I think this same kind of thing would be possible with products. People won't remember this, but there was a time when Amazon had this for products. It was a golden age of Amazon where search and users
worked, and it wasn't just full of like random crap that was a repeat of the same 10 products.
And so like some little tiny seller in like rural Ohio was selling the exact product you needed. And it had 1 million 5-star reviews that was, I can't believe that Randy in rural Ohio is selling this thing that I need. This is an incredible product. It is amazing. Now it's just filled with garbage. But at one point, that was the golden age of Amazon, and it was incredible. And it was just because user reviews and users could connect to other users and share content. It's like, this is the thing that I did with this product. This product worked really great for this use case. The Amazon search took you right there. We need that again, because there are times when I would be fine with an AI-narrated audiobook. There are other times when, I want Stephen Fry reading me something.
I want Andy Serkis reading Gollum's voice.
Yeah, so, you got a whole universe of possibilities there. And if there was a search engine where you could say those things or fill those things out in some way, then this kind of thing would be fine. But instead, the 40,000 generated AI whatevers are going to drown out everything else, and it's all just going to be terrible.
No way to filter.
Yeah, fun times.
Subscribe to read the full article. Meet My1, Microsoft readies new AI model to compete with Google and OpenAI.
A spoiler, it also hallucinates. But it is smaller, and it is maybe a little faster and more efficient. So Microsoft hasn't really disclosed a lot of details about it, but I keep waiting for somebody to come up with a really ironclad demonstration of variable accuracy large language models, where it's like, oh, sometimes it is floating point 16. Sometimes it's just 1.5 bits. Just depends on what you're doing. So, And then finally,
Microsoft says it did a lot for responsible AI in inaugural transparency report, though there is mention at the top of the page about things like Mario flying a plane into the Twin Towers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. This is like. This Verge article almost feels like paid placement from Microsoft to say, look, we're doing it. We're being responsible with AI.
Yeah, by our own standards that we made up. But also, like, I don't know. I kind of felt like The Verge was being a little tongue-in-cheek in a few places, like mentioning stuff like the Mario.
It's tongue-in-cheek like somebody has a gun to the editor's head, though. It's like, no, we can't say that. Okay, it's like,
well, let me find a way to get around that.
We also had the Kentucky Derby last week.
Which is, did you pay any attention to that? My cousin won $900. This is the second year in a row that he's picked the winning horse.
Well, he didn't listen to the AI then.
No. We asked AI to predict Kentucky Derby winners. Here are its picks.
It did not do well, but the number 2 horse was the AI's number 1 horse. Something like that.
It was like a photo finish from what I understood. Like, I think it was 3 horses, like nose to nose.
There was also a lot of the handicappers had a similar breakdown, so the AI was not a lot different from what the handicappers were saying.
Which is, I mean, that makes sense because it's probably just copying what they thought. So
the superfecta odds skyrocket to 1 in 380, or 1 in 6,840, and 1 in 103,025. So, yeah, the AI did not do well this time.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time, just like that for us. You've wasted another perfectly good week. Thanks for hanging out. Ryan will be back next week because his internet will be fixed.
Hopefully.
And that's another one for us.
Bye.